You are prior to beingness. You have always existed and you will ever exist because you are unborn. You are prior to the world, prior to beingness, prior to everything. Prior to beingness, you had no desires, no relations or friends. There was no such thing as a family life. You did not have any associations or interactions with others because there were no others. What was your existence like before this dream began? All the different kinds of emotions, such as joy, sadness, excitement, peace, etc., did not exist before beingness. You are not connected to any of these. There were no such things as happiness or unhappiness, boredom or depression, fear, stress, suffering, vulnerability, and insecurity. These words and experiences appeared afterwards in the world of duality. You acquired language for the body form and accumulated knowledge for the body form. But prior to beingness, there were no words and meanings, such as affection and love. Nothing conceivable or perceivable existed. No thing. Language belongs to the world of duality. All the words, concepts, and terms we use today are responsible for complicating our search for truth and creating a great deal of confusion. Your reality has nothing to do with words. We created all the words and their meanings, such as awareness, consciousness, I am, etc. These words are indicators or pointers. They are not the real deal, just like the menu is not the meal. You are reality. There is only one reality. We are all part of that same one reality. The name or label you ascribe to your reality does not matter. We make the same mistake time and again, convinced that if we can name our essential nature, our reality, that we have got it. But you cannot pin down reality. You cannot catch hold of it. What is conveyed here is beyond words. Don't mistake the terms for the reality. Place yourself before beingness, wordless and silent. You existed before the body form, and you will continue to exist after the body form expires. Prior to beingness and after beingness point to your reality. That formless reality is a non-dual reality, a thoughtless state, without a knower, knowledge, experiencer, or any experiences. There is only one silent essence, unity, oneness. It is a placeless place, a stateless state, empty of everything, both conceivable and perceivable. In other words, you cannot imagine it. In that abode, language is redundant, as there is no need for communication. You know you exist. You don't need any proof to know this because your existence is self evident. And what about your existence before manifesting as the body form? Some of you may say, I haven't a clue, I don't know, or I did not exist. But many of us feel a certainty deep in our very core. There is something inside us, a feeling, a knowing of our prior existence and eternal nature. You may sense that you existed before manifesting as a body form, while at the same time you don't know how or in what way. But you know. That something, that knowingness, that spirit or presence, or whatever you may wish to call it, is the sacred flame that burns eternally. That invisible, unidentified identity is your eternal source. From that formless, stateless, thoughtless, unknown existence, there emerged a body form and consciousness. Consequently, when you became aware you existed, you reached a false understanding. I am a body, an individual, with a mind, an ego, and an intellect. When this misunderstanding happened, you began to feed off worldly information. Taking up your position as a form, a somebody, a state, caused you all sorts of problems, difficulties, and confusion. Fake news says, I am a body form that was born and therefore will die. Reality says, I am formless, unborn, and therefore immortal. We have all had some sort of inkling that there is much more to us than this body-mind. We are not just mere mortal human beings, though we sometimes don't behave much better than the animals, living our lives as if we are these gross bodies. We forget that we are walking temples, as it is only through the vehicle of the human form that self-realization is possible. In reality, we are formless, unborn. We do not have a beginning or an end. Our origin is prior to beingness. Your presence existed prior to the world. When amnesia descended, you forgot about your true identity. Forgetting meant that your true nature remained a mystery unto yourself. When your presence or spirit came together spontaneously, along with the elemental body, duality began. When you started to know yourself as the body-mind and identified with that, the reign of King Ego also began. You bought into the dream, accepted all the thought forms, etc., without any discrimination, and really believed that you were somebody. In reality, you are nobody, no body. The body is not your identity. It is your spontaneous appearance, your reflection. Put simply, when you look at yourself in the mirror, you see a reflection which is not you. You see your physical body, which is not what you are. How can your eyes see you when you are the source of light? How can your eyes see you when you are the source of sight? You are hidden inside, under the covering of your body. And what about your family attachments? What will happen to your family after you leave the body? All your relations are body-based. Mother, father, sister, brother, friends. The entire world is your spontaneous reflection, including your dear family. We have great affection for the body and its body-formed relations, such as our families. They are also part of the grand illusion. The family did not exist before the body form and will not exist after the body form expires. That said, you have a responsibility to take care of your family. Recognize the family as part of the dream, the unreal drama. Everything, the world and society, including all your family members, are appearances in the dream. That said, your family is not a hurdle to self-realization. Just begin to slightly loosen your attachments to them and everyone else, so that you can see everything without exception as a dream. When you know that life is a dream, your problems will not affect you. Being in the world, but not of the world, means you're acting in a dream, knowing at the same time that you are separate from it. You are that invisible, spontaneous presence that has never experienced birth or death. Your existence is eternal. What you are in essence has always existed. It cannot be described, for it is no thing, and yet it is everything. It is emptiness and it is fullness. Again, the words do not matter, as you are prior to words. That invisible reality, that presence which existed before the body form, will continue its existence after the body form expires. Let's say there are 3 movements. Number 1, omnipresence is your stateless state prior to beingness. Number 2, spontaneous presence emerges from omnipresence as your spontaneous manifestation. Number 3, spontaneous presence merges back into omnipresence. The combination of presence, the elements and consciousness spontaneously produced the appearance of the body form. Your spontaneous presence emerged without any apparent external cause. Self-generated from the unmanifest to the manifest, from the formless to the form, it came unbidden without any external stimulus, as a natural impulse. Everything unfolded spontaneously. Your manifestation, along with the world, which was projected out of your presence. The nature of our existence is spontaneous and undetermined. The physical world we live in appears to be real, but that is only our perception at work here. Everything is an illusion, emptiness, like atoms. When you stop identifying with the various forms, you will discover that you are the substratum of all shapes and appearances, the very foundation that underlies everything. Your appearance and the appearance of the world. The noumenon, the unseen, is the root of all phenomena, the seen. You are that eternal substratum of existence, the invisible reality and nameless power or energy, which has been called by many different names: ultimate truth, ultimate reality, God, etc. That invisible presence is very subtle, subtler than the sky or space. You are beyond the sky and space because you can see them. You are reality. Everything is reality. Reality is everything. You are everything, and everything is in you. Non-duality means that there is only one reality that is the same in everyone. The body can function only because of the partnership between presence and the five elemental body. Without the power of presence, it cannot work. It is the combination, spontaneous fusion, that brings about the miracle, fuels the body, and empowers it to operate. The world which appears to be real is projected from your presence. Your spontaneous presence is the projector. Our mistake was to give importance to the illusory projections instead of the projector. We focused on the seen instead of the seer. Prior to beingness, there was no body and no knowledge. Therefore, everything to date, all the knowledge you have amassed, is second-hand knowledge, time-bound, and sourced from outside. In other words, it is not who you are, nor anyone else. The fact is, nothing is happening. Nothing has happened, and nothing is going to happen. Because you have taken illusion to be your reality, you have created a menacing shadow around you, which appears threatening and frightening at times. But there will be no need to fear the shadow when you discover that it is yours. We are all part of one energy. The world that is projected from this energy is its reflection. It may seem, look, and feel incredibly real, but it is only an appearance. The world is the spontaneous projection of your spontaneous presence. All that you see is your reflection. That, the unnameable, through which you see, is the real deal or bottom line. If life is a movie, you focused exclusively on the moving images instead of the movie maker. Or putting it another way, you are not the movie, you are the screen. Shift your focus and stay with the root cause, the source from which the projection is projected. The something that appeared as a body will disappear one day. It will happen to us all. That something will then merge with nothing. Put simply, out of nothing, something, the body, emerged. Then that something will go back to nothing. Nothing merged with something, something merged with nothing. But there is no something in reality. That something is an illusion, an appearance, a mirage. Spontaneous presence is all. When the conviction of your reality arises, you will view everything in a new light and perspective. That conviction will happen spontaneously. You don't need to use any intellectual effort for that because your spontaneous presence is prior to the intellect. This arising of your conviction will be spontaneous, in the same way that your presence arose spontaneously. The nature of conviction can only be spontaneous because your existence is spontaneous. Your conviction has nothing to do with reason, logic, or cause and effect. Your presence existed prior to beingness, prior to the mind, the ego, and the intellect. Why this life? Don't look for a why. Don't look for a reason why presence took form. Call it a mystery. There is no reason at all. The body is not your identity, and it will not remain your identity because it is only a brief, spontaneous appearance. Reality is beyond the grasp and capabilities of the intellect and imagination. You can only experience it. That is your proof. You are the final truth. The entire world is projected out of your spontaneous presence, and the same thing will happen in reverse when the projected world withdraws. Let reality find you. We all have deeply ingrained tendencies to apply reason and logic to our lives because we identified with the body form. Work on shoveling out these tendencies little by little. Reality has nothing to do with reason and logic. We do not know why we manifested or the way we were prior to manifestation. It is humbling to realize that we don't have all the answers. It seems that scientists have also hit a wall in their research into consciousness. They have not been able to locate or explain the nature of consciousness. As much as we would like to find out what it was like prior to beingness, we will not be able to know. How can we expect to know the infinite, the eternal, using finite tools such as the mind, the intellect, logic, and imagination? How can our limited minds possibly know the unlimited? How can the mind know that which is prior to it? It's an impossibility. So what makes this knowledge different from the rest? This knowledge has the power to remove illusory knowledge and replace it with direct knowledge of your reality. These absolute teachings are non-intellectual. They transcend knowledge effectively because they are before and beyond knowledge. These teachings take us back to our roots prior to beingness, clearing out the layers of body-based knowledge. They perform a total demolition job on illusion, thus bringing the search to a complete stop. You were free, you are free, you will always be free. Life will unfold simply and spontaneously now that there is no longer any interference from the ego. Dive in. Let your innate knowledge flow. Keep plunging into your most incredible adventure ever. Enjoy. Jai Guru.